Deborah Coco, and welcome to the Just Gimme the Mic show, where we pass the mic so you can tell the world who you are and what it is that you do. Welcome. Check us out every Sunday night at 10 p.m. on Brooklyn Channel 68, and look for us on YouTube.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Just Gimme the Mic show. I am your host, Deborah Coco. I have a great show lined up for you tonight. For my first guest is going to be Gimme Merritt and her mom, Ebony. They will be coming out to tell us about what happened. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the story that happened in the news here in the summer, but you will learn all about it today. It was a tragedy that took place, and we're here to tell you an update on what's going on with that situation. And also, we have Verse in the building. He will be our musical guest for today, sharing with us his experiences and what's been going on with him and his music career. And we also have Sheffic in the building. He will be telling us about what's going on with him. He has so many things happening with him, so many new ventures, and he's doing a lot. So stay tuned, don't go nowhere. We have a great show lined up for you today. I'm Deborah Coco, and we'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to Just Gimme the Mic show. I am sitting here with my first guest, Verse. He is here, a great artist. He's been doing his music for quite some time. We actually met like what, 3-4 years ago? You came to one of the video music box tapings that I was doing with Ralph McDaniels, and you just came in and you jumped in the cypher and did your thing, and I was like, wow. Who's this guy? This is how we was introduced to you doing music, you know? Your energy was on point. Your lyrics was definitely on point. Always positive, no profanity or anything like that. You're very good, in my opinion, at expressing yourself the right way. You know? Some people have to use, you know, profanity to kind of emphasize, they think, to emphasize their point. But you know how to do that. You got that down pack. And in my opinion, you're like one of the artists that I've ran into over the years that has the full package. You know, the stage performance, the personality, the business drive. It looks like you love what you do. And, you know, I just see you all around entertainer when I see you perform. So how you been? You know, thank you for joining me.
First of all, thanks for the intricate compliments. And secondly, I'm copacetic as we speak right now, just in a superb grind mode, but at the end of the day, very grateful and just focused.
Good, good. Right. Well, how long you been doing music? 'Cause like I know when I met you about 3-4 years ago, you was kind of like, I don't know if that was the beginning for you or like, give me a little background.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I produced my first record technically at 13 years old.
Wow.
So I produced my first record at 15, 16. I was signed to Bad Boy in a group called Triborough.
Right, that's right.
I said Triborough, excuse me. That's the second. I was signed to Bad Boy in a group, my apology, called the Hood Fellas.
Okay.
Right. So in there.
At what age?
Approximately 16. Well, we negotiated while I was 15, but the 16 it was official.
So that was major. Let me stop you right there, though. How did a deal with Bad Boy come about for you at that age?
And a lot of people thought I was from Harlem, but Harlem, from a geography standpoint, is so cut off. So socially, everything is so coherent. We're in Bronx and Brooklyn. It's larger. So I was known for having ciphers and you know, freestyling, genuine, realistic improvisation, not the actual classification of a freestyle, and it be something prearranged, which is okay. But I was known.
Celebrate March, number after 8. 9th, get it? Hype lyrics. Understand, listen, homie, my spirit. Some people wanna now rhyme like Hove, cause he be rhyming like he be shining in a robe. But never mind, offer the diamond, I'm a globe. But never mind the rhyme, I shine, cause I'm a, look, you think you the Mike Jordan, a rap nigga, then listen here. It's the kid that'll easy give you a wizard cheer. It's not arrogance, it's passion, y'all. And since rap gets compared to basketball, or LeBron with it, I'm born with it, but born with an arm and they easily disarm critics. Listen, I prepare off the top, I put in that work better than the gap in the black shirt. Nobody. You got the, like they said in a joint now, who shot you? I swear to God, do proper. Off the top, understand I do got the word, but spitting from a different perspective. I ain't spitting and I'm pimping or gripping the weapon. You feeling the feeling I'm feeling. Instead of fibbing, I deliver the rhythm cause the flow's so crazy. Woo! We clap nouns. You hear the dude going woo in the background. You hear that sound. But I'm from the place where people now they clap sounds. Get it? Round of applause. I'm nice and rapping. Yeah. Round of applause like it's Michael Jackson. You watching the moonwalk, goons talk. Yeah. With different types of weapons. My mind's, I swear, different type of perception. But yeah, really sweet. You think it is really sweet. Lyrically, I deliver the intricate on Berry beat. Understand where I swear to God I am a heavyweight. He going okay. Yeah, we gonna celebrate
for that. And in a time where ability was the currency and ability was so rampant that your ability would give the perception that you were heading places.
Sure.
So at that time, it was I was effective because I really didn't use profanity that much, and I embraced the concept of the element of hip hop and reflecting who I was. So that kind of separated me in an urban environment where a lot of young black men are just indoctrinated in this concept of masculinity. So it used to allow me to, gain a certain level of momentum. And then gaining those certain level of momentum, I never really liked the battle thing, but it was part of what it was because, unfortunately, aspects of our self are competitive. So it gets indoctrinated in our culture.
Right.
So I did it and was successful at it and was successful to the point where the hustlers used to just make sure I got home safe and things of that nature. I remember one time my
They're
mom,
like, this young guy got talent. We need to watch out for him, right?
yeah, something of that nature. I remember one time my mom thought I was, selling drugs, but I wasn't. And then
Because you had all of them kind of like protecting over. It's like, why are they taking an interest
Exactly,
in you?
right.
What you doing with them, right?
Right. So, but subsequently, that gained into a momentum in where, word of mouth started to spread, and that word of mouth created a curiosity. And then after curiosity, I answered the question, curiosity, and then all of a sudden, bam. So by then, one guy who, was doing what he was doing in the street, I shall remain anonymous.
Yeah, don't give him up, right?
He said, look, I just need you to rap to somebody else on the phone. So he said, I said, okay. So he said, go ahead. So I started freestyling, whoever you're on the phone. And,
this is for you.
yeah, this is for you. And he said, wow, you're a genius. So, he said, he's going to come and introduce you to me. I said, okay.
You still didn't know who it was? Okay.
Nah. So, long story short, it was, it was Puff.
Wow.
And
that's awesome.
I want to give intricate detail, but I don't want to give off the perception that I'm creating an image of him. But I was reluctant to deal with that because at the time, the commercial aspect of hip hop was rising, but so was the business.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Puff was synonymous with bad contractual situations with artists. So at that time, Jadakiss being one of my premier favorite acts, I was reluctant.
Okay.
And
so
he was like,
did that stop you from moving forward with him at that time?
Yeah, and he said, he looked at me and said, I always get what I want. And he had a team called the Hitmen, and one of the producers of the Hitmen, the name is Yogi, who produced many big records. Had befriended my mother, and they had a friendship, and then that transformed into me signing a contract with them, which had me placed in the group. And then when I first originally found out, I wasn't aware I was in the group. But then by that time, it was like, the momentum was going. And
what was the name of the group?
Hoodfellas.
Okay, so that's how you got to. How many members were in that group?
Including me, 4.
Okay.
So it's 3 plus me.
All right, so I know, like you said, you mentioned the Triborough group.
Oh, that was years later.
That was years later. Okay.
That was years later. After me being on Bad Boy, I was also part of the Hip Hop Project, executive produced by Bruce Willis and Russell Simmons and Queen Latifah.
Wow.
So you could go Google that, check that out. And after that, these industrial accomplishments put me in positions where people would just, pay attention to your ability a little bit more. But because this is a business of monetizing and not
Right.
necessarily position,
Right.
I only had success on the songwriting end. But then at me being in a situation of me not contractually benefiting from that,
So you didn't have publishing?
nah.
Okay. So
But
you wrote the song, somebody else took credit for the publishing?
many different records
Oh, wow.
over a consistent of time, because when you're in the
Wow.
studio and people are going, oh, that's the dude who did this, they're there,
Right.
so they know.
Wow.
So
So
but
when it actually came out, it's like, okay, this person took credit for this person took credit for that,
Yeah.
and you ended up losing out on that aspect of the monetizing of that part of the business.
right, and which is consistent and which is
It was
normal.
very common at that time.
Yeah, which is
right.
consistent and which is normal, because as a young individual, love doesn't always I have these systems, right? So I call it the double systems, and one of them is love doesn't always lead to logic.
Right.
You know.
Right. No, that's
So
true.
I'm incredibly passionate. Hip hop is such a culture personification that it's everything to me till to this day. So I didn't see the importance of understanding that, and rightfully so.
And you was young, right.
Yeah, any young person. So as I started to be in a situation where, contractually, I'm starting to realize I have no intellectual property whatsoever.
Right.
I own nothing.
After years of doing music at this point, even though
like-
you were young, you still put in time.
Right, being into that situation, I decided to say, like, oh, I need to get out that situation.
So how did that
So,
happen?
Just,
I know they had probably had you signed for a couple of years at
Yeah.
that point, right?
Right.
Where you're supposed to produce a certain amount of music,
Right,
right?
right.
Okay,
So-
within that group.
right. So, those things, it came into fruition and where I'm not there. So,
Okay.
leave it
Does
at
the group
that.
still exist? I mean, I haven't heard of them. I don't
Nah,
know. They branch off into other.
Yeah, I see. I've seen the different members.
Okay.
I'll reach out to them as as things emerge. I mean, people, unfortunately, and it's not a knock to them. In this capitalist society, like relationships are connected to what a person thinks they can benefit. So
Right.
me, like I'm a purist in its essence. Like I'm really a person that values relationships, because
Right.
I just started to understand the concept of genuinely how to monetize approximately less than 5 years ago.
Wow.
And because in this industrial place, you just program to learn it the hard way.
No, I mean, it depends on how you come in, what age, who's around you,
Right.
who's managing you,
Right.
so that's very important when you're young.
Right.
Coming, and then at that point, you heard about contracts. People didn't really know the full details of what was wrong, who was doing this the wrong way.
Right.
It was rumors, and
Right.
it was,
And initially, one great thing about the hip hop project was, it was a program, and Kazi he created curriculums and where we would understand the business on an intricate level.
That's
and then
great.
There was a book that changed my life, the Donald Passman, Everything
Okay.
You Need to Know About the Music Business.
all right, check that out. Right.
Yeah. So when I started to
Look at it as a business more as just being an artist, right? Because you entered
Right.
it being an artist.
right.
Now you're looking at, as you get older, your perception change.
Completely.
And so now you started looking at the business part of it and to make sure that you protect yourself too. At some point you got to protect yourself. So that's another thing.
So as I started to learn that, the problem is that as you're learning these things and as those aspects are elevating, time is elevating,
Right.
and it's not a. Once again, this is just me, because someone out there is listening.
You're
and
sharing what you've experienced.
You're right, and not only just what I've experienced, but what I've assessed to be consistent and common.
Okay.
That this is a business of monetizing. So monetizing is not necessarily independence.
Right.
So as an artist gets more aware of that they are the business, they're less likely to be positioned
Right.
irrelevant from their abilities, because now there's the compromise in what you're willing to give up and
That's
what
the
I'm willing
next
to
part.
gain. So
Right.
there was a consistent of I kept thinking, yo, this famous rapper, if I did this record for him, you know, he would either, you know, reciprocate or, and then I started to realize that the interaction of business is not personal, but the outcome is, because the outcome indicates what each party thinks of each other.
Right.
So I started to see that, you know, I don't have a relation. You know, people say, you know, I have relationships. No, yeah, this famous person is going to know who I am, but I don't have a relationship because guess what? Right. They're going to keep saying, all right, verse, write this, and that's it. So as
you started to learn how to separate the two.
Right, with the combination of the increasing of social media and the independence of what it is to be an artist, I had to take a fall back and focus on being an artist again, and then
handling all the other aspects.
And then resurfacing and saying, because even, you know, now I'm humbled in such a environment and such a place to be interviewed. There's so many people who are going to pay attention to this. So as they're paying attention to this, I have an opportunity to, you know, create a fan, because people get it twisted between consumer and a fan.
Right. That's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
So how did Triborough come about?
Triborough was way before me. Yeah, Triborough was way before me.
And who did it consist of before you entered the group?
It was a loose, Fresh Air, who's one of my favorite rappers to this day.
Love Fresh Air. I love both of them. And Sean.
And Sean Khan.
Right.
He has a project out, the Golden Mic.
Yes, come see me, Sean. Yes.
It's actually charted, which is dope.
Yes, I like Sean. I love Sean's music. Yeah.
So, Fresh Air is one of, you know, Fresh Air is the reason that I understood that Black Thought was one of the greatest ever. Because Fresh Air was so talented and his favorite rapper was Black Thought. And I was like, yo, who's this? So I said, I'm embarrassed. Like, I just knew the roots, but it's like, you know, Black Thought was never, like, roots were never like really, really pushed.
I agree.
As successful and talented as they were.
I agree. I definitely agree.
But so they met me at some show freestyling. They were like, yo, you're real talented. We were dope. And it was like, all right, we connected, did a record. But at the time, what happened was we connected with a A&R who was very prevalent in music business and was like, look, want to make you guys a group, you know.
And you came from different boroughs. Is that the key?
Well, me and Alus are both from the Bronx. And
okay.
It's like, want to make you guys a group, you know, and that was the goal. And you know, contracts were offered, but you know, nothing materialized.
No.
And in that, there's a lot of, you know, in detail stuff that anytime you explain these things with just cultural perception, anything seems, you know, embittered or so. Anytime you explain it, so I'd rather not explain that.
No,
but I'd rather not be politically correct and tell you that there's not an intricate reason, but explaining it, you would have to now go into other details, because anytime you do that, because people are so complacent with only holding on to their perspective and not paying attention to what it's like
the whole picture of it. Right.
It's why, like, people make fun of Meek's arrest and said, yo, he shouldn't have did this, he shouldn't have did that. Could he have been responsible? Yeah, but at the end of the day, his constitutional rights are being violated, because he's serving prison time for an offense that was completely removed from his case.
That's true.
So if you understand, like, law,
that doesn't.
Right. So there's something that needs to be removed. But what we do, this is America. Men are measured.
We don't even think about that part.
Right.
We just like, oh, he's, you know, like you said, base our opinions, throw it out there. We don't even know the full story. We don't really know all the details of what happened.
Right. But more intricately than that, excuse me. Because this is America and you're measured on your perception of beauty that they tell you to have, and I'm measured on my accomplishments, our accomplishment starts to define us and not our abilities and our characters. So in our accomplishments, we get loved and hated for it. So it's like there's so many people who are like connected to what they didn't like Meek did and how he's accomplished that they can't have empathy for the situation because they're connected to that. It's like,
I agree.
Right. It's like the person who's not gay, not being able to empathize with the young male that was just murdered from his father.
Right.
Right. So Me
can't
not
relate because of that one factor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
and it
Right.
goes into just holding perspectives and not removing and being objective.
And not looking, this is a human being,
Right.
you know, that was murdered. Not
Right.
having some type of sympathy for that alone.
Right.
What did you do?
Excuse me?
You don't look crazy to me.
I think I'm really going crazy. I think I'm really going crazy. I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy. I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy.
They say because of the flow, I'm destined, but then feeling a mess, depressing, less than a man. I'm really suppressed, distressed, the best that I can, but nevertheless, yes, I'm investing a plan to. And they call on a shit, cause he gets what take with a gift, gotta say complacent. I'm sick of waiting, I'm feeling like a brick in a kid rating. My brain, I can feel it belittle this political rap. It's only benefiting the people that's lyrically whack. Look at everybody. I'm pleading, not to be defeated by demons. I'm pleading, but screaming and bleeding. I'm screaming, I'm crazy.
I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy. I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy. I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy. I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy.
V-E-R, S to the fifth letter. Ain't nobody destined to spit better. This your world and a man that I fear. I'll kiss your girl with my hand in the red, pull an animal hand. I'm in the land of frantic, panic, and fear. Cause the mind to get you and undermine the mind. It's mind and mental, like the mind of Columbine inside the mental. When the shotty was flashing diamonds. I'm sicker than the rapper rhyming like the crap that is trapped up in Magic Johnson. They like, oh, whatever you crazy nigga, like having Kelly as a babysitter and going on a date with Lisa Ray. And she's speaking so sweet, you don't need to pay. That's crazy.
I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy. I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy. I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy. I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy.
As soon as I hit it's me, and I switch it terrific. I get to the point where I'm twisted like Mr. Sheen with a Charlie in the front. He's probably in the lobby with a Hardy in the blunt with an X in it, and the next minute he will smoke crack. I hope what I quote really don't provoke that.
Oops, too late, sorry.
Amy's gone, and the statements I'm making that may be wrong. And if you feel that I played or replayed the song, I'm sorry, don't mind me. I'm past beyond stress. I'm superhead son in a snapping contest. They love to say I'm a wonderful genius, but blackball isn't just something that's for the God man is making me insane.
I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy. I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy. I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy. I think I'm really going out of my mind. I think I'm really going crazy.
So, like, when should I see you the next time? Because I was thinking my girl, the studio.
Doc? Next Thursday?
You know what I mean?
So
So because last year, let's go back into last year. I know a lot of things happened in between, but last year you actually contacted me from overseas.
Yeah.
You was out there doing music, recording, right, doing some things.
Definitely.
So, and now you're back. So how did it go when you was overseas? What did you feel about the music culture out there at that time?
I was out there working on a project I have with an artist named Sasha X, but also I was presented this concept to give my curriculum towards people there, because I have a curriculum called Right Away, and that'll be later facilitated as our brand as an artist.
Nice.
The cultural scene across the world is completely impacted by hip hop. It is not a coincidence that hip hop is statistically the number one consumed music in the United States, and then the number one
overseas
shipped music across the world. So there's shipped and then there's consumed. But why shipped is important, because shipped is connected to advertising, and advertising is not by accident.
No, it's not.
Advertising dollars are shift towards the semantics of something. So where things are purchased, that's why
There's a heavy demand
Right.
for old school hip hop. I don't even say classic hip hop.
Right.
There's
So let's
a
not say old school?
No, not old school. That's why I changed it.
Right.
Classic hip. I call it classic hip hop.
Right. And a reason why I'm saying not to say old school is ageism is a concept. There's a book called Behold the White Pale Horse. And ageism, ageism is a concept that Europeans use to suppress black culture. If you notice, ageism is no longer in the culture of rock and roll, because now the perception, because we invented rock and roll, but now the perception of rock and roll is European music. They keep ageism. Why? Because in any culture, because hip hop is a culture, any culture, youth spearhead a culture, but elders set the principles and the guidelines for a culture.
Yeah,
so
teach
if you
something today,
remove,
that's right.
if you remove elders from a culture, there's no direction, and that's evident now. The hypocrisy in it is that every person in hip hop that is statistically in a serious position is over 40.
Yeah.
And it was just recently that young 17, 18-year-old kids is because, and that wasn't the industry on purpose, that was technology changing and giving access. They don't want that.
Yeah, they don't. That's why they removed the music. They have us being filtered constantly 24 hours a day with this stuff that,
So there's there's advertising, and one thing I want to, like, for inspiring artists to really understand the difference between fan and a consumer. A fan is a person that makes an educated decision to support you, no matter how relevant you are in what you call a marketplace.
Right.
A consumer is waiting for you to be placed in places that they identify as popular to say, I am now going to consume you. But when they consume you, right, they'll watch you, wear what you wear, because most popular culture is geared towards us. There's an old document that's shifting on Facebook right now, how to sell to the Negro.
I saw that.
And the reason why it's effective is post-traumatic stress is real.
Yeah.
And we suffer from that as just being black people. We think we don't, but we really do. When you are living vicariously through another image, you suffer from that.
If you feel you have to wear Louis Vuitton, or you have to wear Polo, or you have, in order to give this persona that you made it.
But let's not
about that,
right.
You know?
But let's not be critical on it, and let's understand why. Because when we do that, we separate. So the person that's doing that feels I'm attacking them and alienating them. No, I'm no different from you.
Right.
The only difference is I understand where this is coming from. There is
I like that.
Right. There's
You
no
understand
need.
where they're coming from, exactly.
And if you look at Warren Buffett, or if you look at certain acts that are not of color, brands are not necessarily attached to them. Or if you pay attention to a person of color who's have a certain understanding, like a Kendrick Lamar, like he'll usually just wear white T-shirts, or people are criticizing J. Cole for his attire, is because
They purposely do that.
I wouldn't say that. It's they're
Some
at
of
the
them are.
place.
I've read some interviews.
Yeah.
Some of them feel like they don't need to wear that name.
And that- and-
it doesn't define them. It doesn't make
and
them.
I don't think
and
that's
they don't
purpose. I
wanna
think
be-
that's more connected to understanding that the brand doesn't define them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't want
Right.
to, whether it's purpose, whether you don't feel the need to,
Ah.
I am who I am.
Right.
You know, I'm in a
Right.
good place. Whatever, however you want to package it.
Right.
I'm glad that they are giving that image out
Yeah.
to younger kids who are out here consuming, who are watching, and who are following them, that you don't have to do that.
Right.
In order to be
'Cause the-
still seen as somebody.
the truth
you
is,
know?
here's the truth, right? Here's the truth. Hip hop is the most impactful culture in the
is.
existence
It is.
of human consumption.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's a subculture.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. Christianity is a culture. Muslim is a culture. Religions are cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Religion just means system to do over again. A culture is simply a way of life.
Right.
A subculture is a culture that goes into many different cultures and exists. A culture can only exist and evolve through its youth. Because Christians, right, critique their aspect of identity, Protestant, Catholic. It separates, so it's never able to maintain a position without having to manipulate for it existing.
Right.
Same thing with Muslims, right? Because I'm anti this, hip hop goes, I'm not anti-black, white.
Right.
So the subculture now dominates all the other aspects of the culture. So there's now Caribbean culture.
Right.
When you say Caribbean culture, talking about Puerto Rico and Dominican
All the
Republic as
Caribbean
well, because
islands.
Dominio and Puerto are Haitians. That's why it's called Dominicano, Puerto Rico.
Right.
They're both Haitians. One just got conquered over the Himalayas. The other one stood and fought. French Revolution. You know, so it's like, it's on, it's really,
deep.
it's,
It's
right,
a
it's
lot.
really important we understand that. No teacher and no parent has an impact like hip hop. And when I say that,
No, very true.
let me elaborate.
No, that's very
The
true.
child's first environment is the home, but the first environment is not the main environment. When you study psychology, you study environments, right? So you have a main environment. Your main environment is your social life. Your child is away from you.
Once they reach a certain age,
Exactly.
society
Right. So it's not
comes in on that.
these advertising semantic specialists get paid millions of dollars because it's like, wait a minute, we have to now,
They got that target age.
right, we have to target it. And it's
Yeah.
not a coincidence that this is not a, if you look at the major record labels that are like even fallen, 4 of the top major record labels, you could go on the sites because these things, they can't hide for public records. They're funded by prisons.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And the reason why they're funded by prisons is because the prisons started to realize that, look, we don't even have to sell the product. We just have to keep it popular.
That's it.
And then it keeps the rhetoric that keeps the prisons filled, because prisons are not being filled like they used to.
No.
As much as we are in prison, they're not being filled as they used to because they're being built at another way. So where all this becomes relevant at is that hip hop is so important that when you actually say something, someone is being inspired. And once again, goes back to my systems.
Goes back to yours.
You
right?
either inspire someone or you intimidate them.
Now that's what I was talking about when I first opened up the show about your music, right? Talking about the lyrics and what you choose to, your lyrics and your rhymes and
Yeah.
how you choose to express yourself. I feel that you also give messages in what you're saying, and you're clever with your wordplay, which is good.
Thank you.
And you find a way to get it out where people do listen. They're like, wow, that's slick, but that's true. I might have to go back and read on that and follow that. I don't know about that. Let me go check this out. It's almost like you're teaching, and you're also, like, and you're also being clever, using the music, and all as a plan, I think, your design
Right.
and how you express yourself through your music. So I definitely want to salute you for that, because I find
Thank
that to
you.
be a difference from a lot of artists that I run into a lot of artists. So I want to say that's one thing that stands out about you and your music.
Thank you.
And we're also going to get a performance for you today. But before we finish, because I have to wrap it up, let me know what you're working on now and what is happening. I know you said you got a project, you have a team. team. You got a management structure that's going on. Let us know what projects is going on for Verse right now.
Okay, so I have a project called Momentum being produced by the Monorail. They're producers. They're producing right now for Sadat X.
Nice.
Just did a joint with Craig G. So that's a project coming. I have another project called The Unisex.
Okay.
It's a collaborative project with an artist by the name of LT. And I realized there's never been a project where the opposite sex has presented music, but in a platonic aspect where people just relate to it simply because it's a human experience and not a sexual one. And when I mean sexual, not intercourse, but from the perspective of masculine and feminine.
Okay.
Then I have, the Genius Club, who everyone...
you need that.
yeah, everyone calling us the new Fugees. We have a record with Chris Rivers called Little Money. We have a project self-entitled. And we have a...
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Get it. Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Go.
Low money is better than no money, cause even below money you can still grow money, yes sir. Low money is better than no money, cause even below money you can still grow money, yes sir.
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
You gotta eat, get money.
Get money.
New shoes for your feet, get money.
Get money.
You want a sensei and a piece, get money.
Get
You
money.
wanna party with the freaks, get money. I get money, get money, get money. I make gray skies turn real sunny. In a flash, gotta get that cash. Get that cash, get that cash. Gotta get that guap, gotta get that fast. Gotta pay myself first and the bills go last. Go and get more by working smarter. Made my money work for me through spoken art. Man, I'm going in the booth with an open heart. Flowing is off the chart, go to my soul depart. Wait, how much money could save that? Wait out of state, get your money made back, that's time. Oh, that's fine. Oh, what you thought that was a drug punchline?
Well, I didn't see that coming.
Get your legal money too. It's all legal when the rent's past due. It's money over stress. Stressing over money get you nothing but depressed. Nothing but upset. It's something you gotta get. You hustle on the side just to do it for a check. Gotta stay fly, but it got me in the debt. The grind in my blood with the tears and the sweat. Got it in my pocket right now. Hare Krishna, praise the cash cow. And God we trust. It's all seeing I got his sight on us. And God we trust. It's all seeing I got his sight on us.
Low money is better than no money, cause even below money you can still grow money, yes sir. Low money is better than no money, cause even below money you can still grow money, yes sir.
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
All you little dummies was in love with the cuckoo. I was the younger lummy with the government don't show that. Not all of us are brothers and demons and crack. Come from the house, the color is semen. In fact, you stuck with your spouse, I'm up and I'm dreaming. I'm hustling, revealing I'm not dealing weight. I'm in the winning with individual real estate. You just thinking about copping the bronze. I want a copper drop top on top of a lawn that's connected to a mansion. With the homies, no weapons, we just lamping. We finna get rich. Destined for wild chips like the legend inside the best Destiny Child hits. Now it's time to think different from frauds. My flow switch like the hips on Nicki Minaj. I'm trying to get it critic. You so pathetic, giving the dough because you physically fold and check. But what about your own wallet? Cause you know it's so cold when you don't got it. Such a fact. Money tatted on the brain. It's either rapping or we add it with the game. 9 to 5 and all the cracking, or it's tatted on our brain, or we acting acrobatic on a train, cuz
Low money is better than no money, cause even below money you can still grow money, yes sir. Low money is better than no money, cause even below money you can still grow money, yes sir.
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Go.
I've been broke for too long. Trying to get the green like the Clippers, I'm too long. Proof to hit the booth like the use of a new bomb. But still I take my dates to the places I'm Groupon. I never flip the brick, just flip the lyric like a spatula visit. Now on my bank account, a half of my shit. Do works at 9 to 5 and finish. I can laugh at the difference, but if I grind until I die, I can leave a stack for my children. But that's after all the purchases, the orders and truths. Manager payments, hype man, and the cost of a booth. A few apes, a OG Kush, and the rent overdue. And the rest is college funds, please don't go to school. But it's cool, it's cool. I got that start up money, you can get it for the low, so spark up honey. I can rob a few unsuspecting pedestrians for they wallet or their car if they was parked up funny, so you know I'm on like these war snow veterans, cold and old soul. With his no low stressing, it started from the bottom like them old toe fetishes. Oh,
low money is better than no money, cause even below money you can still grow money, yes sir. Low money is better than no money, cause even below money you can still grow money, yes sir.
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what? Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what? Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars. Listen, not all of us poors. Some of us bros are entrepreneurs. Well, women, the question is, how did you get it? But never mind them, cause the poverty devours the spirit. And when you're shining in, you're probably not acknowledging critics. It's life, one life, so you gotta just live it. So we hustle, but you're not calling us a grinder. Life's harder when you're born with a vagina. I would call it as a minor. Mama not having enough, so this rap's for everybody that was having it rough. And understand that a quarter ain't far from a dollar. If you know you're going hard home and holler. It's one thing that you gotta know, whether down the pro or the honor bro. When you find it though, gotta really learn to flip it. Yeah, you gotta learn to flip it. Flip it, flip it, flip it, flip it.
Low money is better than no money, cause even below money you can still grow money, yes sir. Low money is better than no money, cause even below money you can still grow money, yes sir.
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what? Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what? Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Go!
Mixtape that you can get on .piff that called Join My Club currently right now.
Okay, check that out, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have that.
Uh-huh.
Now, who's your management team? Who are you working with now?
So I'm in the process of legalizing some situations as we speak at the end of this week. So
Okay.
before I do that, I'm gonna keep
You got to keep that.
quiet
We
on
can't
that.
talk about that yet.
And we're
It's
like
still in the works.
Yeah, but that person is connected to
Okay.
a really relevant established artist who apparently heard music, fell in love, and said, "What are we doing?" So I'm humbled.
Good.
And that's really the most important thing. I'm not here to really create tension or waves. Just for the record, those who are watching, those who I've experienced and written records for, you're not gonna hear me talk about it unless it's from an indirect experience for a young person to understand that experience, but not to broaden. Because what I want is to control the aspect of attention I do have, and I just want it to be relevant to being creative. I don't need the world to think I'm the toughest, the smartest, the richest. I just need you to just look, if you're into creative music, check me out.
Yeah,
And if
check
you
them out, definitely.
if you like it, I really appreciate because I do take my time, and I do I'm not sitting here and no, I do take my time, and I do pride myself in
Very
I'm an
serious,
artist. I'm not a
yes.
hustler. I'm an artist.
Good.
Yeah.
Industry that hasn't changed, you were saying. That's what I like. I know you've been through a whole lot.
Yeah.
You've had some good and bad experiences.
More
And you still
bad
seem-
than good.
You still seem humbled by it, you know?
Well,
and it feels like you got something important out of each situation,
Yeah.
and it didn't make you bitter. You still seem to be inspired, still wanting to teach, still want people to hear what you have to say. You still want to share.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I won't be there were moments where I'm embittered, but let's be transparent. Stress is not depression. Stress is connected to a decision you make, and you go, man, I made a bad decision. And then the depression usually,
change that. It's
right, and depression usually accumulates to things you can't control. Someone saying, you better do this or this doesn't happen. Or you getting hit by a car, or, you losing a loved one. So we have to be real careful with that. And I don't want to project like I didn't have these dark experiences, because there were many times I despised my ability because people will be uncomfortable and envy you simply because of your ability, because they connect that ability to collateral.
Right.
It's just now things are changing, like, oh, he's talented but he ain't going nowhere, because there's so many people that are being positioned that don't have ability. But that's going to spiral, because right now if you pay attention to the people who are being purchased
yeah.
right? People who are being purchased are people who you have an idea, concept, like that's an artist.
Yeah.
So when you see a person who's
Like the Kendrick
popular,
Lamars, like
right? When you see, and this is in the numbers, and that's not always registered on SoundScan on purpose because they don't even want people to know
Right.
how successful independent music really is.
It really
But the
is.
music business has been making more money now than it has ever been. Excuse me.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So are you gonna stay the independent route? Are you looking to do that?
No, I will not limit myself to that. I understand that the concept of I don't mind someone owning an aspect of verse. It just needs to be transparent, and it needs to be an accountability. Like there should be a reason why you have this amount of my intellectual property, because you're going to take that platform there, and then in that frame, it just needs to be transparent and articulate. But more than likely, I probably will, only because they like to perceive you understanding this as problematic. I've been told problematic is people in street beefs, on drugs, sleeping with 10 women at a time.
Is that created? Do you think that is something that is kind of brought to the forefront?
Of course.
For most, yeah.
You
That's
need
why
to
I wanted
have,
to highlight
okay.
that, right?
I remember
wanna hear
being
your
in
opinion on
parties,
that.
and I remember being in parties and not smoking and not drinking, and it making people uncomfortable. There's a book called 48 Laws of Power, and the important law is to never. The first law is the most important law: never outshine the master.
Right.
And in every environment, you have a master, and the master is just the person in control of that environment. And this is Western, though. See, Eastern, the masters, they want the student to outshine them. But in Western, it's like, look, know your position. Of course, slavery, right? So going back to that point, if they can't find a reason that I could control you, then this culture is so powerful. Well, there's use, but if you accumulate, because when you look at Kendrick Lamar, when you look at J. Cole, their situation was divine intervention, and is not common because there were a lot of people giving them a lot of roadblocks. And part of the reason is, but at the end of the day, like Bob Marley, right? Bob Marley was such a success that the powers that be is like, look, it's still a business. They make too much money.
Right.
And content is what sells.
Right.
Like I'm not knocking trap artists. I'm not knocking. It will get you relevant. You will sell shows. You will sell items. But if you actually want to, right, and you're cool.
That's your lane,
but if you actually want to sell music as an intellectual property, I put out an album and someone takes their hard-earned working money and purchase it, you have to convince that person, that individual, that boy, young girl, gay, straight, Latino, Asian, Muslim, Christian, I am an artist. And when your music does not discriminate in any demographic, you have a larger chance. So, Nicki Minaj is not better than a young up-and-coming female. She's a larger artist. So because she has a larger demographic, she has a bigger chance to sell records. And we disimport, right? Me, I just want an actual genuine fan base, a relationship with people that, look, you've come out to my show, you've purchased my album because you genuinely like what I do creatively, and that's all. Because I'm not your teacher, I'm not your leader. That's why Eminem's new single is representative of that, of him feeling this pressure of like, we're not gods.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I don't despise that I'm not a rapper, I'm a hustler, because I get it as a black man, but I'm trying to change the narrative of, I have a different aspect of black masculinity. And my aspect of black masculinity is not being afraid to embrace emotion, to show intellect, to be kind.
Right, we need that.
And to focus on being creative.
We need that. We definitely need that.
Yeah.
All right, so where can we get your music? And first, before we get into you promoting your sites and everything, I appreciate you coming and sharing that with us and being transparent and letting us see that. It's nice to have someone really open up so much and, express how they feel about the music industry as a whole and your music. But where can they go to find your music?
Okay, so right now, you could go to, my Instagram, Verse Hip Hop 12, Verse Hip Hop 12. My Facebook is Verse, aka LP. no spaces. I will be dropping these projects that I just mentioned at the top of the year.
We're going to see a performance, too. So y'all get to see him live and direct. And shout out to Don Too Real.
Yes,
Eddie Rivera. Shout out to him.
Yes,
he
I was
made
just
it happen today, you know.
I was going to do that during the performance, but we could do that. Yes, he definitely made that happen, and he's an individual that I'm humbled by, because in this business of monetizing, people are always reserved, and he didn't sugarcoat his excitement for me as an artist, and that's always humbling, because it leads back to the music.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much, Verse. And we'll be back with more. We have 2 more guests on today's show, and we'll be back. Check them out, support, go to the websites, and, you know, give him some feedback. Let him know how you feel about his music. He out here really doing his thing and really trying to make a difference with this music. We'll be back. Thank you, Rick.
Gotta get them dollars. Say what? Gotta get them dollars. Say what? Gotta get them dollars. Say what? Gotta.
See, I be feeling so gone, so gone, so gone. See, I be feeling so gone.
He's a genius.
Check. I don't mean no disrespect, but the hit that's on your disc is a disconnect to reality. Oh, yup, you're mad at me, so what? The casualty grows up, they're mimicking the nonsense, and all the hitters is winning and sinning on their conscience. But you know they got the high, what they feel, no lie, they get high to deny what is real. And the guys on the rides with the widest appeal got the most played, but ignorant songs. And I'm embedded, but I'm singing along. But someone that recorded and they always lying and they glorifying what is horrifying. The enemy report, I recorded a quarter dime and a letter to God, but the Lord knows I'm always trying. Yes, I am. I'm always invested in my vision, but the present got me questioning religion. I'll be looking at the windows in the sky. I see my soul ain't alive. I'm so gone. I'm so gone. I'm so gone. Check. Yeah. Do black lives really matter, of course? But what happens when you actually the atom and source? Hey, look, I ain't denying the crookedness of cops, but I'm just as shook as the crook that looking for the ops. We're leading in the system, revenging his thoughts, but I bet you that he end them in court with his freedom gone. Not to be misleading, but the demons we believe are strong. When it comes to self, we adopt the hatred, but the prophets are not debating, but the cops are waiting just to blame it on rap. But what a lyric gotta do with you aiming the gap and an innocent man and his wife and child. But it's not put like the right, the white, the now. But when you not white, you right and right this out. This is not hype, you right, I would like to smile, but they be looking at the mother loving, ever loving. Rainbows in the sky. I see my soul ain't alive. See, I'm so gone. I'm so gone. I'm so gone. Trust me, there's an intricate plot to give a bad name to the words hip and a hop. And the police commissioner with this recorders, but dismiss the bliss in the Michigan waters. Who's this girl? She gon' say my boo, but I'ma say no way till I say I do. Right now, she gon' act like I never was there, but we haven't been together a year. So baby, hold up. Before you wanna run into marriage, and certain lovers, I think you love and established, but I think you in love with the marriage instead of mother lover, loving the marriage. I think you really in love with the status. But these lessons have a greater impact than me. Whether you dead and dedicated contractually, you can elevate it to a gated catastrophe. That's why I'm looking at the ever loving, mother loving windows in the sky. I see my soul ain't alive. See, I'm so gone. I'm so gone. I'm so gone, gone, gone. See now windows in the sky. I see my soul ain't alive. See, I'm so gone. I'm so gone. I'm so gone, 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 gone. Hey, we make the real good music, so at the same time feel good music. So if you feel me like you're struggling, so hustle, everybody just listen to me. Hey, somebody in my hood just started today. I wish that I could get up and fly away. I look around but nobody can save me. A brand new baby is born today, but at the same time my life's torn away. I look around but nobody can save. No, nobody, no. Black band, I believe in peace in every form, but my hatred for police increase in every song. Cause on these mean streets, police are never wrong. If a cop says freeze, dad, you gonna stop. So why would you release like 100 shots with no one of your gun drawn to an unarmed young calm guy coming from a strip club? You see how his body simply was hit up. Damn, homie, you get that? Nah, I don't get that. So what happens when your skin is the color of Kit Kats? But in America, chocolate isn't sweet. That's why you hear darkness in my speech. Media try to disrespect and attack, and we sing my pants use crack. Me, I use rappers about wings. I'm trying to fly, 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 fly. I'm trying to fly, 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 fly away. Somebody in my hood just died today. I wish that I could get up and fly away. I look around, but nobody can save me. Nobody but me. A brand new baby is born today, but at the same time, my life's on the way. I look around, but nobody can save me. Hey, I'm a black. The words of a loving battered man, from my mother's abdomen to the earth. For a verse, I put my letters together in clever ways. But 11th grade was something I really never made. But it wasn't cause I lack any academics. It's simply that my past, it was past pathetic. Everybody ain't rich, I'm telling the truth, y'all. Don't let the veterans fool y'all. I want my record sales to parallel to the dude who invented the moonwalk. They're calling me a poet that's sick. Better yet, I'm Maya Angelou with a stick, and my words will remain up in your brain and inspire the liars to put the truth in the booth again. Listen, see, the truth is in, so we can fly, 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 and we can fly, 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 fly away. Somebody in my hood just died today. I wish that I could get up and fly away. I look around, but nobody can save me. Hey, nobody but me. A brand new baby is born today, but at the same time, my life's torn away. I look around, but nobody can save me. Life's a bliss, but it's harder when you marry the lady. It's harder on the humans that carry our babies. I hope this verse can help the black girl cause 2,000 something version of black girl lost. Cause even though we got intellectual divas, we still got heifers that's destined to be a sexual pleaser of a dude that's gonna molest her and leave her. Then her virginity simply just flies away. Do the math, I never was rich, I grew up 3 blocks from 176 with a woman with 6 kids who never did quit because of her. Most of her rhymes poverty struck because of her. Trying to just survive enough luck because of her. I'm trying to take the dream just fly, 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 and just fly, 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 fly away. Somebody in my hood just died today. I wish that I could get up and fly away. I look around, but nobody can save me. Woo! I said a brand new baby is born today, but at the same time, my life's on the way. I look around, but nobody can save me. Hey, somebody in my hood just died today. I wish that I could get up and fly away. I look around, but nobody can save me. Woo! Yes. A brand new baby is born today, but at the same time, my life's on the way. I look around, but nobody can save me. See, so bad things happen to good people. I know you don't really like the way it sound. And good things happen to bad people. I really wish it was the other way around. I hope your soul don't fly away, wait. I wish the Trump could just die today, so probably gonna get high today. I wish my soul could just fly away, wait. I hope that I don't die today. I wish my soul just fly away, wait. I really wanna cry today. I really wanna cry today. See, bad things happen to good people. I know you don't really like the way it sound, yeah. And good things happen to bad people. I really wish it was the other way around. I hope I don't die today.
That was an awesome show. I hope you enjoyed all the knowledge and information that was shared today. Make sure you reach out to my guest on the show and show some support. Also check out Verse and his new music that he has coming out and some of his projects. If you can, donate to the fund for Miss Merritt. Also, make sure you go online and find out the link for that. That's on GoFundMe. Make sure you show support for that. And also check out Sheffic. He has a lot going on. Check him out in Forbes. Go to his website. Check out some of his syndicated programs that he has up on the website. And also make sure you check us out. Just Give Me the Mic on YouTube. And, you know, we have a couple of events coming up. We have a 16 bars coming up December 9th with Ralph McDaniel's Video Music Box. Also have a showcase coming up First Time Bookers on November 25th. And a lot of events. So make sure you go to Facebook and check out the 6 group pages that we have on there. And let me know if you're an artist and you want to participate in something. And check us out on YouTube. And also, I forgot, justgimmethemic.com, y'all. Go on there. You can check out everything, shows, links to everything that I do. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. And check us out each and every week, Sunday, channel 68 on Cablevision.
Get them dollars. Say what?
Get it.
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what? Get it.
Gotta get them dollars.
Say what?
Gotta get them dollars.
Go.
Low money is better than no money.